Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and I was always told I had a voice radio, and today is a very special day, ladies and gentlemen. We got a very special video today. See, over on my Patreon, patreon.com/PTCGRadio, you can support the channel, and a bunch of people do, and I'm very grateful to those people. Those people are lovely. And you can get certain rewards, but the highest tier over at patreon.com/PTCGRadio says that once a month you can demand that I make you a video on a topic of your choosing. While the lovely Jason Stopka is one of those lovely people that is supporting on the highest tier and has given a phenomenal idea for a video. So today we are looking at the top 10 things that I want in the next Pokemon game coming in 2019, the proper Generation 8 game. We're not talking Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. We're talking the next proper game. There's no huge order to these, although I have ordered them, except number one's a big number one. So in number 10, I want an easy way to breed. And don't get me wrong, right, we had this in Sun and Moon. You go get your ride Tauros and you go down to the farm and you run around in circles directly in front of the hut where you put your eggs in. And it's lovely. Please let us have something like that again, so I can look to see when the lady folds her arm, letting me know that my egg is ready and it's hatched. And so I can just run around in circles and hatch them as quickly as possible. Number 9, the setting. I had a look at all the settings of Pokemon games the other day, and we've had Japan and we've had USA. There are two countries I think are deserving of representation that haven't been represented yet, and they are Australia and Britain. Australia, you've got the whole kind of coast/desert thing going on, which I find fascinating. And in Britain, we've got big cities like London, we've got coast like Cornwall, and Cornwall's amazing. And then we've got woods, and I don't know, Britain's got seasons. Forza Horizon 4 are taking advantage of Britain and its seasons. I don't see any reason why the next generation of Pokemon couldn't do that as well. Although Australia would be cool. But then again, I went to Australian internats this year, so I've kind of got Australia on the brain, so maybe that's it. They're the two countries I'd like to see. I mean, US and Japan, and also France, I suppose, with X and Y. I think it makes sense at least. In at number 8, I want colorblind versions of shiny Pokemon. Colorblind-friendly versions. There are some shiny Pokemon that I just don't get, ladies and gentlemen. So if we take something like a shiny Zubat, oh look, it's a completely different color. If we see something like a shiny Beware, it's a completely different color. I caught a shiny Diglett on Pokemon Quest the other day, and I legit didn't know it was a shiny Diglett. Pikachu, oh, it's gone from yellow to gold. Brilliant. No, ladies and gentlemen, some of these shiny Pokemon need to be revamped for colorblind people like myself. This is probably too big a question for Generation 8 as a whole. It probably needs to be the Pokemon brand, but even so, I want colorblind friendly versions. I also want Horde battles back. Horde battles were great at just giving you a lot of Pokemon, all of the same type, so you can knock them all out and get some EV training going. We lost them. I would quite like them back. I enjoy it. It's really nice for EV training. I would like the return of Horde battles. Plus, it's really nice to, just be running through the campaign and like, oh, there's lots of similar Pokemon. Let's use a move that hits everything like Surf and just crush them all in one go. That always amused me. I want Horde battles back. I also want a new EEVEELUTION. Because you know what? We haven't had one since Sylveon. It's time for a new EEVEELUTION. I'd like a fighting or ground type. That's just me. I don't really care what it is. I have my suspicions that we might be getting one in Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. We know we're getting a brand new, never-before-seen Pokemon. And in a game which is really focused around Eevee, it would make sense to introduce a new EEVEELUTION in that game and then be like, oh, wow, cool. So maybe it's coming in there instead. Either way, I want a new EEVEELUTION, and it makes sense to get it in this game as much as any other. I would also love, and if anyone from the Pokemon company's listening, please include this in the game. I want an every gym leader ever mode. I want a mode where you can just go and challenge any gym leader from any of the games From Brock and Misty all the way up, Cynthia, whoever you want, I want an option to challenge any gym leader or Elite Four member and just have them using their kind of Pokemon. I love gym leaders. They're a focus in the Pokemon trading card game, and they've all got their own personalities and their own type of Pokemon, and come on. That would be so good. Just being able to go, and maybe it would be an every gym leader ever in a row. It's kind of like some kind of survival endurance test. Or maybe you could just go and challenge any gym leader you like from any Pokemon game, from any region. That would be amazing. Make it happen. Now, we got ride Pokemon in Sun and Moon, and ride Pokemon are Pokemon that you ride. They replaced all of these HMs. Fine. I want that to be taken further. Basically, I want a Mamoswine ride Pokemon. Oh, look, I'm on a snowy mountain. I am unable to pass through all of this snow and ice by myself. I need a ride Pokemon to help me. Oh, look, it's Mamoswine. Let's all ride a Mamoswine. I mean, what would be really cool, and it looks like there are hints of this happening in Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, being able to ride any Pokemon. So when you're going around generally, pick your favourite Pokemon, jump on, have a ride. If you need to go through water, pick your favourite water Pokemon, jump on, have a ride. When you need to go flying around to other areas, jump on any flying Pokemon, have a ride. That would be cool. I would like them to really expand the ride Pokemon. Ideally, I'd like you to be able to ride any Pokemon, but if not, just Mamoswine. Let's have a Mamoswine ride Pokemon in the ice, please. That would be lovely. And number 3, I want lots of mythical Pokemon distributions. I love mythical Pokemon. They're fun, they're interesting, and I want them to be distributed as widely as possible. Go on, Pokemon, make it happen. I would be delighted. Now, something I've wanted for a while, at number 2, I want skippable cutscenes and dialogue. You see, I completed Pokemon Moon. And I completed Pokemon Sun. And I completed Pokemon Ultra Moon, which has a very similar story. And the first kind of 45 minutes to an hour of that game is quite slow and dialogue filled. And the first time I really enjoyed it. I loved the story of Pokemon Sun and Moon. I thought it was wonderful. It didn't bother me at all. The second and third times I went through that game, I'm going to be honest with you, it was starting to get a little bit annoying. And I couldn't skip it. And it was starting to get a little bit annoying, but I still couldn't skip it. And it made the start of the game drag. And that was a bit sad for me. I would like to be able to skip these dialogues, and I say cutscenes, they're not really cutscenes per se, but I would like to be able to skip them so that I could just get on with catching Pokemon. Because there's going to be 2 versions of the Generation 8 Pokemon games. There always are 2 versions. And I'm going to play through both versions. And the first time I play through on one version, I'm going to sit there and drink in the story, and it's going to be wonderful. But the second time, I'm going to want to skip bits. Please let me do so. But the number one thing I want from a Generation 8 Pokemon game, and I feel super strongly about this, I want a way to test Pokemon. I'm fine with breeding a team if I go to a competitive tournament, but I want to be able to jump on the battle spot having just made a team. I want a mode, and fine, don't let us use it in the main game, but for online, on the battle spot, I want a mode where I can pick my Pokemon, pick their IV and EV spread, obviously keeping it sensible to what you could have in the game, pick their moves, etc, etc. I want to be able to design a Pokemon. You can do this on Pokemon Showdown, but I don't want to always be doing it on Pokemon Showdown. I want to be able to do it in the proper game. I want to be able to do it on the battle spot. I want to be able to do it on my Switch. I want a mode that it doesn't have to be the main game if you want people to play through the main game. And it doesn't have to be for official tournaments. I am fine for breeding and making a team for that. But I like playing on my currently 3DS will be Switch. And it's so annoying to spend 2 days breeding a team and EV training them, and then you find out the team's not so good, so you then have to go and, I mean, if you're lucky, just change the EV spread or just change a move pool. If you're unlucky, go find another Pokemon or 2 or go back to the drawing board with the team. It's kind of annoying. Let me, for testing online, for practicing for official tournaments, just let me make my own Pokemon and take them online. There's no reason not to do this. For tournaments, there is a reason, because you reward people who did all the breeding and stuff. I get it. In the game, there is a reason not to let you do this because it's basically like cheating your way through the story. I get it. But playing online, which is largely for fun or testing for tournaments, I don't see any logical reason you shouldn't be able to just go into the plaza, design your team of 6 Pokemon, and go. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, that would be utterly amazing. That is the number one thing I want. Although while we're here, can you please just tell me what my IVs and EVs are? Can we not just have a way of checking IVs and EVs in game? We all know they're there. We all know they're not important when you're going through the campaign for the first time. And we all know that they're super important when you get around to go in a competitive tournaments. So can we just have a way to check them? Especially for something like Hidden Power where you need super specific IVs. I mean, at the moment, if we look at this graphic from IGN, we can see that actually we only know if it's 0, 30 or 31. That's not good enough, ladies and gentlemen. Can we please have a way to check IVs and EVs? Although seriously, just let us design Pokemon. It can be online only. It can just be for testing. But it takes so long to breed a team, and for tournaments, totally worth it. For testing online, why can't I just have an idea for a team, knock it up, and jump straight on the battle spot and test? Come on, make it happen. And that, ladies and gentlemen, are the 10 things that I want in the Generation 8 Pokemon games. But let me know in the comments what you want from the Gen 8 Pokemon games. And a huge shout out and thank you to Jason for supporting over at Patreon and for giving me such a good idea for a video. So now it's over to you, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can do just that. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.